Hi, I'm Peter and I'm here today at Wellhouse to check out this Suzuki Jimny. Now, Wellhouse have been importing vehicles from Japan for many years, so they're experts in the field. They brought in lots of Japanese market camper vans, and now they're also bringing in these Jimnys. Now, they're actually badged as SEATER, the top spec ones in Japan. They're only bringing in top spec ones, all the bells and whistles on them, and because in the UK you can only get the commercial vehicles in the last few years, there's not been any fitted with the rear seats like this one has got, nor to a high spec. This particular one is an automatic. I believe you can get automatics or manuals, all with the top spec 1.5 litre engine, which is exactly the same as the European models. But we need to have a look at some of the differences on the Japanese import ones. They've got a whole host of extra spec features, and they're really nice spec. So let's take a closer look at it. Now, this one's in the, I believe it's forest green, but it's a funky colour. In terms of styling, it does look like a great big Tonka toy. It's a fun thing. And of course, Suzukis have proper off-road ability. This isn't a soft-roader, this is a mini off-roader. So if you live somewhere rural, up a farm track, or even if you just want to ensure you never get stuck in the snow, this is a great all-year vehicle. Now, the ones that Wellhouse import all come with stylish alloys. Stunning. They're quite small as well, it's so cute. Now, this particular one is a customer car that's going out today, and it's been specified with a removable tow bar. So that's one of the options you can have. I also notice it's also got a reversing camera. Now, they're badged, the top spec ones I believe are Sierras, so it's a Jimny Sierra. You've got the rear mounted spare wheel, something that all off-roaders should have. And yeah, really nice funky thing. Look at the grille, I love the grille. This harks back to traditional classic Suzukis of old. Very stylish. And lots of practical things, like the bumpers are all durable plastic. The wheel arch extensions are all durable plastic. You've got these sill trims in plastic too. So all of these parts can be replaced individually if you get them scraped. So very, very practical urban car. Right, so let's check out the boot space. Now, this import car is unusual in that it's got rear seats. It's a proper family vehicle. Nice wide opening tailgate, and you've got these two rear seats. Now, the ones they sold in the UK for the last few years have been the commercial version, haven't had these rear seats at all. So the boot space with the seats up isn't massive, but they're split fold, so you can fold either one down or the other down, and then you get a huge flat floor. So that's really practical. And it's also covered with this durable plastic rubbery material, and I think there's a bit of, oh yeah, there's a bit of storage under there. That's your tow bar on this particular one. But very practical, wipe clean surface, and there's lots of nice little touches. So we've got a 12-volt power socket in the back, and again, all nice and wide and wipe clean. Very simple but effective. And I think these are top tether points for child seats. And also I noticed the seats themselves, they can be angled in various different positions. So, lots of thoughtful design gone into these. So you can see that one's just canted back a bit more. We can have this one further back. And they've got adjustable headrests as well in the back. So nice and practical. And a little bit of hidden storage down there that's accessible even with the seats up. So if we head into the rear and check out the rear seats, this is the thing you couldn't get for several years on the UK spec cars at the dealers. I believe the trim is slightly different on this particular one as well. It's very nice, it's very plush. It feels quite luxurious considering it's quite a small basic off-roader. And got some cup holders as well that are accessible to the rear seat passengers. And they've also got plenty of arm space, because obviously you can use these wide panels over the wheel arches to place your arms. So yeah, a Jimny with rear seats is a real novelty for UK buyers. Now, one of the differences on the UK spec cars, I've just locked this one, you've got the usual style of plipper, but it's keyless entry. So to enter the car, you just poke this button here and it unlocks. And there we go. Excuse the plastic on it. This is a brand new customer car. So inside, all basic, wipe clean, as you'd expect of a mini off-roader. Really nice trim on these seats, and now this is what marks it out as a little bit special. So down here, got the centre console, lots of high spec features. So you've got your heated front seats on this car, and just to ensure it's a proper serious off-road vehicle, you've got a transfer box. So you've got 2 high, so it's in 2-wheel drive most of the time, 4 high, which again you'd use in slippery conditions on the road or perhaps off-road. Then if it gets really tough, or if you're pulling a small trailer, you've got 4 low, which obviously lowers all the ratios, gives it a lot more torque, and it basically enables it to get out of anything. So proper off-road ability. Now this one has been fitted with the automatic gearbox. The Japanese love automatics, and super smooth. I've driven this one around a little bit. Absolute delight. Shifts really nicely. Pleasure to use. Makes it a lot easier. So again, that's another high spec feature you don't often see. And oh, the door's just shutting on me. So let's have a look at some of the interior details. So down here, fire the vehicle up, just a push button stop start, and you'll notice the mirrors, being Japanese, they fold in. Obviously they fold out as well, and when you flip the remote they automatically fold in, which is a nice touch. So over here we've got, take my glasses off to see what that says. Oh, that's lane assist, is it? Yeah, it's got lane assist. Wow, I'm quite impressed with that. That's a very high spec feature. So you've got lane assist, and I think the bottom one is automatic braking. So you can switch those on and off. So we'll put those back on. They'll default to on anyway. Headlamp washers. That's another high spec feature. That's your fog lamp, which will only work when your lights are on. There we go. So, is that front fogs or rear fogs? I'll just go and have a quick look at that. Okay, so that's a rear fog lamp. So Wellhouse have to add these to meet IVA regs. So that's a neat extra feature. Now in terms of the steering wheel and instruments, well, as you can see, it's a really nice plush leather steering wheel. You've got all your multimedia controls on here, and on this side you've got cruise control. Now, one of the slight differences with the Japanese imports is you have a few Japanese words in the middle. So this one, clearly, that's the fuel economy. Oh, there you go. So you press this button over here and that rotates through. That's the trip distance, A and B, and the mileage the car's done. And then over here, is that instrument dimming? Yeah, that's instrument dimming. So I'll just turn that up so you can see it nice and brightly. Now this control on the steering wheel links to the radio, and Wellhouse Fit, I'll just go through, no audio device. Okay, so they fit, it wasn't, there we go. It is on a radio station. So they fit a UK spec radio that obviously works all the UK channels. I will just turn that down. Now the instruments themselves are lovely and clear. And I do like the fact you have a rev counter and a proper speedo. As they come from the factory, they will have a kilometre speedo, but as you can see, this one's been fitted with a miles per hour speedo as part of the UK IVA test. The mileometer will still display in kilometres though, so that's something that's just a little bit different. Now if we look at the centre console, I'll just move the foot on the brake, Peter, I'll just move the gear lever out of the way so you can see things a bit more clearly. So got the hazard switch in the middle, got these cute, really cute little air vents here. Now you've also got air vents at the sides here to, now these are useful to keep the side windows free from mist. It has air conditioning as standard. I shall just poke the button there. Once it's switched on, where are we? Is it on? Oh, there we go. Yeah. So it's set to warm at the minute. If we turn it all the way down, obviously you can set it to low. Oh, it just says AC. I'm not sure if you can see that with the reflection. It says AC on the display there. That one controls air recirculation. If you're stuck in traffic, stick that one on. Front demist, rear demist, and that will also activate the heated mirrors. So we've got various things there. And then if we press mode, yeah, I'm not sure what mode does. Oh, mode toggles through the settings. Right, mode is direction. So mode toggles through the direction of airflow manually. And obviously off switches the whole thing off. So that's quite straightforward, isn't it? Just get it on. Oh, and if we just push the button in the middle, that gets it onto the auto setting, and then we can whack the temperature up. Now, just turn that down because it's heating me up now. Now, one thing that did crop up on some of the forums was that the Japanese spec vehicles have weaker air conditioning and heating systems than the UK spec cars. This is absolute nonsense. Most Japanese vehicles have incredibly powerful heating because they have quite extreme temperature differences compared to the UK. So no, absolute rubbish. It has the same power of system as the UK cars. If we have a look down here, you'll see we've got a 12-volt socket. We've got the passenger side electric window control. And this is the driver's side electric window control, which also has the automatic one-touch function. That is your stability controlled system, which you can switch on and off. And then you've got this one, which is a hill descent control. Again, quite a high spec feature for such a small off-roader, so that's quite impressive. And I mentioned before, but I'm just going to pop them on. Here are your heated seats. Very quiet engine as well, this petrol engine. So down in here they've added, I think that's for your, what is that for? Yeah, that's a USB point, so you can play your music on the UK spec head unit. So that's quite a nice feature. Oh, I'll just switch off hill descent. It was flashing at me. Look, you push the button and it was flashing excited at me at the bottom of the speedo. So we'll switch that off. Quite a simple interior, but very effective. I like the passenger grab handle. Very stylish thing. Now the other thing I believe is different on the Japanese ones is the indicator stalk is on the right hand side. Automatic headlight note, and you've also got, I'll just turn this on and just check, yeah, you've got front fog lamps. So that's quite a nice touch. I think that one might be parking lights, but we'll leave it on auto for now. That's where most people will want it staying. On the other side, you've got your controls for the wipers. You've also got a rear wiper, and as I mentioned before, you've got the headlamp washers down there, as well as the stop-start control. You can see when it's off, there's an orange symbol by the rev counter. So it has every modern convenience, and as you can see, with only 55 kilometres on it, this is a brand new vehicle. That's literally the delivery mileage from the factory, on and off the container, on and off the ship to the UK. So Wellhouse will be listed as the first owner on these vehicles, and they're registered on the date they were built in Japan. Now, the other thing Wellhouse fit is a reversing camera, which is, as you can see, accompanied by the usual Japanese bleeping. But yeah, that's really useful. In fact, it would be brilliant for the tow bar. You can just see the edge of the tow bar of this particular one. So reversing onto a trailer, absolute doddle with that. Really well worth having. I use a lot of trailers and it's always a pain getting them on the hitch if you're on your own, but without a camera, but that will make it a doddle. We don't normally show you under the bonnet on vehicles because it's a bit boring and technical, but on this one it's all nice and clearly laid out, and you can see, you can get to your screen wash, you can check your oil level. Yes, it has a dipstick, so this is one of the charms of being an old school vehicle. Got your brake fluid top up, and obviously really good access to the battery. So this engine is exactly the same as the UK spec vehicles, so any dealer in the UK can service it, so that's not an issue. And if you wonder what all this pipework here, that's for your ABS system. Now, one thing that I did hear mentioned on the forums was that some of the UK spec vehicles, possibly the commercials, don't come with under bonnet sound deadening, but this one, being a luxury Japanese spec, does have that fitted as standard, so that's worth pointing out. Keeps the engine noise down. I must confess a little bias. I've had two Suzuki off-roaders and I've actually used them off-road, and they're brilliant. They're way better than you'd expect off-road, and every bit as good as a Land Rover. But I'll just point out some little design details I've noticed here, which is worth mentioning. So for starters, your air intake is really high up. It's just here, and you know, it's right at the top of the wing, as high up as they could get it. So you'll be able to ford quite deep water with that without having any issues. But obviously there will be a limit to wading depth detailed in the manual. Then there's other little things. Look at the wiring loom. Look how high up the wiring loom runs, so you don't get any water ingress issues. Lots of little thoughtful design details Suzuki do that are well worth pointing out. Now, to open up the petrol flap, there's a little latch here, cute little latch. It's got its protective plastic still on it, and that just pops open. Cute little filler cap here. Very nice. So lots of thoughtful touches on this vehicle. They do look like a little Tonka toy. You can see the size of them compared to the Renault Traffic. They're quite diminutive. I'll put the dimensions on screen, but they're not large vehicles. But yeah, they're so cute looking. Look at even the little lights. Very cute. Now I just thought I'd show you some of the other colours on offer. So they also have in stock at the moment this stunning electric blue. I think this is my favourite colour, but obviously it stands out a bit more. And they do some nice, there's a nice beige colour as well, which really suits them. So as we mentioned before, you can see they're badged as Jimny Sierras. Now these are top spec ones. So this blue one also has the remote locking. So if you press the button, you'll notice it'll fold the mirrors in. So that's just locked it. And if we press that again, it allows you to get into it. You can also lock the car from the tailgate button. As you can see, when it unlocks. So that's unlock, lock. If you ever wondered why they flash like that, lock, it's how the word is said. So lock one, unlock. That's why it does the double flash. So which colour would you pick? The green does suit it. They do look like little Tonka toys. Now, ever since this model of Jimny was launched, I've been dying to get behind the wheel of one. I've had Suzuki Grand Vitaras in the past, totally reliable, bomb-proof vehicles, and to drive one of these big Tonka toys, little Tonka toys, great fun. So, just fire it up. They're all 1.5 litre petrol engines. So, oh, they've left me with half a tank of fuel in this one. The fools! Now, so the Japanese, this being a Japanese spec one, it's got extra sound deadening under the bonnet. It's got obviously the rear seats, which weren't available in the UK for, I think, at least the last 2 years. And you can't actually buy one of these anymore. I believe they discontinued them about sort of 4 months ago. One thing I must mention is warranty. Because it's a Japanese import, there isn't a warranty with the UK Suzuki dealer network. So the warranty is provided by Wellhouse. And just nip out across this junction. So the warranty is provided by Wellhouse, and I believe it's a 3-year warranty, an insurance-backed warranty, fully comprehensive. So that's one less thing to worry about. And with all these vehicles, they can of course be serviced at a UK dealer without any issue. This is the European spec engine. I read on the forum someone was getting confused with the K-car version, because they do a narrower version of this model that's for the Japanese market's tax rules, which it doesn't have the plastic wheel arches, it's narrower, and it's got a 660cc engine to fall into their tax bracket. But Wellhouse aren't importing those, they're only importing the UK engine spec models in the top, I believe it's Sierra spec. So this one, it's 1.5 litre, fitted with the automatic gearbox. The steering wheel, which I should have adjusted before, tilts up and down, so I've got it tilted to the top. Seating position's great. It has an elevated driving position, so the view out is great. And it's got character. Now, the ride quality on the old Jimny was horrible. It was like a pogo stick. On this one, it's really quite good. Quite low geared steering, but that's no bad thing for off-roading. And it's quiet, it's refined. I really like this. Oh, it's got a really good turning circle. This would be a fantastic town car because you've got elevated visibility, dead small to park. I'll flag up the dimensions on screen. And yeah, automatic, so stop-start traffic won't be an issue. Great little urban runabout. And I'll just get up to 60 miles an hour and tell you what it's like at 60. It's a willing little engine, this. It's good. So that's 60 miles an hour. The upright body means there's a little bit more wind noise than some vehicles, but it's not bad. Towards the cyclist, Peter. Now I've just demonstrated another high-spec feature, which is your lane assist warning. So if you're getting too close to the sides, it will tell you. In fact, I don't know if that was just because I went over the white line, so I'll just go over the white line again. Yeah, it's because I went over the white line. That's what triggered that. It wasn't the proximity of the cyclist. So, yeah, that's a nice little feature. It just bleeps on this vehicle. You can switch it off as well. There's a button down there. Some vehicles pull the steering out of your hands, some modern vehicles, to try and get it back on track, which I find particularly irksome. But no. I know I'm near the side. I've switched that off as well. Right, where's the button for that? It's down there. So quiet. You can barely tell it's running. Very nice smooth gearbox. It's just done 3 gear changes then and I barely felt them. So yeah, very easy vehicle to live with. And obviously with all the reassurance of Wellhouse, who've been importing Japanese vehicles for many, many years, know exactly what to look for. And these are all brand new vehicles with a warranty provided by Wellhouse for peace of mind. So yeah, if you are desperate to get a Jimny and have bemoaned the fact that the UK dealers can't get hold of them, and you want a high spec one with the rear seats and all the bells and whistles and automatic gearbox, then contact Wellhouse and check them out. Now, one of the things that has cropped up that David's found is there's various myths going around about Japanese imports and grey imports and all this. It's worth pointing out Wellhouse have been importing them for 23 years, so they've got loads of experience of it. They have dedicated people in Japan sourcing the vehicles. Obviously these are brand new from Suzuki, so there's no great issue with sort of condition or anything like that with these because they're brand new. So that's worth mentioning. Now in the UK they only sold the basic van versions with the manual gearbox, no rear seats. Now one thing that some people have said about is what's the specification? Is it completely different? Did it have any weird parts? Well, the answer to that is no. It's the same engine as you get in Europe. You can order all the parts from Japan anyway through a Suzuki dealer, so that's no great issue. Or Wellhouse can source them, so there's no great issue there. But with all Japanese vehicles, they tend to be a much higher spec. So these ones, you've got the automatic gearbox, you've got the top spec 1.5 litre engine, you've got the rear seats and all sorts of niceties like heated front seats, air conditioning, keyless entry, stop start, folding mirrors, electric folding mirrors that are heated, lots of bells and whistles on them. So Japanese home market vehicles tend to be much higher spec than the European equivalent. So what else we got? I won't get it insured. That was another forum question. Yes, you can get insurance on these everywhere, not a problem. And that's also worth mentioning if you look at a van one, a UK spec van one, vans are far harder to get insured than passenger vehicles. So again, no great issue there. Okay, the other one was Suzuki won't touch it. Suzuki dealers won't touch it or work on the vehicle. Well, yes, they will. The only thing that's different is the warranty is provided by Wellhouse, not the Suzuki dealers. If it comes to recalls or servicing work, they'll carry it out. You do get some dealers that are less helpful than others, so it's a case of finding your local one that's the most helpful. Suzuki in the UK don't honour the Japanese warranty, but Wellhouse put on a really good 3-year warranty with the vehicle, so you get peace of mind. I covered this one before in the spec. This one's ridiculous. I do not know. Apparently this was a UK dealer who said the heating is not as strong on UK vehicles. The screen will mist up a lot in winter, will be hard to clear. Total nonsense. Has the same heating ventilation system as in Japan, and all Japanese home market vehicles, they have quite extreme temperatures, so they always have super powerful heating. So I bet it's exactly the same, and that's total nonsense. Why would you change the heating system for different markets? You have one powerful heating system worldwide. That's total rubbish. Now, the other one that's cropped up, and this is worth noting because there are different versions. I have read there are 660cc models. Yeah, this is true. In the Japanese home market, they have a tax classification called K-Cars, KEI, and they get much better tax rates if the engine is under a certain capacity. So this one, the K-Car in Japan, is 660cc with a turbo, but I think it's only about 64 horsepower or something ridiculous. So it's a lot less powerful than the model we're sat in now. And it has, you can tell them quite easily though, because they have a narrower track and they don't have the plastic wheel arch mouldings. Wellhouse aren't importing any of those, so you don't really have to worry about that one. But if you're buying them elsewhere, then obviously, yeah, that's something to look at. They don't underseal them in Japan. This is another one of the forum myths. Well, they do. They've got just as good rust proofing as they would have on the normal UK versions. So you can add extra underseal when they arrive. There is an argument for that, but no, they're perfectly well protected as standard. This one is another one from the forums. The dash is all in Japanese. Well, some of the script in the middle is, but you can see underneath it's the fuel display, fuel economy display, which is in kilometres per litre, and the mileometer on this vehicle is in kilometres. But Wellhouse fit a UK speedo with miles per hour to comply with UK IVA, and also I think a rear fog lamp as well. So it's fully UK compliant. So yes, the answer is it does have a bit of Japanese writing in the middle, but it's really not an issue. You don't interact with that anyway. The other point to mention, Wellhouse fit a UK spec radio. One thing the forums have mentioned, absolutely correct, is that the frequency of the Japanese radios don't work in Europe. True, but Wellhouse solved that with a new unit. So it's a brand new UK spec double DIN system and supplied with a full UK handbook. Now the other one is, are they UK legal? I mentioned the IVA test before. This is basically a government test for all low volume vehicles and to make sure they're compliant with all UK regs. Now, as this vehicle was sold in the UK anyway, of course it meets all the regs. The only slight difference, as I mentioned before, they have to fit a miles per hour speedo and a rear fog lamp. Then it can be registered in the UK. So that's pretty much all the myths and internet fluff dealt with. Now David's mentioned a bit here about their off-road ability. Don't think these are very much better. They're very popular with farmers and people like that because off-road, they're properly good vehicles. The fact that you have a low range box, things like hill descent, these are things you get in really serious off-roaders. This isn't to be confused with something like a Nissan Qashqai or a Ford Kuga, which it's a soft roader, it's rubbish off-road. We had a Kuga a few cars back. It used to get stuck on tall grass verges. It was hopeless. By contrast, again, a few cars back, we had various Suzukis. We had a Grand Vitara, awesome off-road, every bit as good as a Land Rover. Even better if you stick some knobbly tyres on it. Dunlop Sport Grand Trek tyres. So I think it's sort of an all-round tyre as standard. Obviously, you can get a more aggressive tread compound if you need it. But if you're just thinking about getting off a muddy track, out of a field, somewhere slippery, in snow, then these are fine as standard. If you want to go a bit further afield, perhaps you're a farmer, and perhaps you want it for getting out in the field, then maybe a set of all-terrain tyres would be a good call. Big downside with all-terrain tyres is they tend to be, the knobblier the tyre, the noisier it will be. So it's always a bit of a trade-off to how you're using the vehicle. Or you can have two sets of tyres, have some winter tyres for winter and some summer tyres for when it's the weather is more pleasant. Now, the other thing Wellhouse have said, they can do all levels of customisation. This one, as you can see, it's got the cloth interior. Very nice, comfortable seats. But if you want, you can go for leather. You can have all sorts of extras. The tow bars was fitted to the green one, things like that. So there's lots of customisation options should you choose to go down that route. So yeah, lots of fun to be had with them. So hopefully that's laid to rest any sort of fears you might have about these vehicles. As I say, Wellhouse have been doing Japanese imported vehicles for sort of 23 years. I'm a massive fan of Japanese vehicles. I think that's the best country in the world to manufacture a vehicle. If you look at all reliability charts, Japanese vehicles will top them. So, and you have a 3-year warranty from Wellhouse anyway, so you get just the same peace of mind as if you were buying from a dealer, but they can't sell you one. All they've got is sort of used van versions. So if you want the high spec one, brand new, warranty, automatic, all the toys, rear seats, then speak to Wellhouse. Lots of different colours available as well. We've just shown you the blue and the green one, but hopefully I'll flag up some of the different colour options as well on a graphic or a still. So there's lots of different options available. But obviously it's a bit of a moving target, so speak to Wellhouse to see what they're bringing in at any given time. So yeah, I need to start saving up. I really fancy one of these as a daily.